Welcome to the Liverpool 12th Man Show. I am Liverpool 12th Man, and also Irishman is joining us today as well. It is a holiday here in America, so as you call it over there, the bank holiday is somewhat like a bank holiday. So the banks are closed today, and it is a celebration, a very nice celebration, considering our Sunday win against the Red Devils. Irishman, how are you doing today?
Yeah, very well. Very well. How are you?
Good. A little bit like I was a long night, but it's been a fun night. So a little celebration to put in on the parts of the big win.
Has to be done.
It's a oh yeah, for sure. And the best part of the day is that we get to do the ratings part today. The rants, we might have a rant here or two, but I mean, like, how was the airwaves? Excuse me. How was the airwaves for you yesterday? The forums or any of the places that did you see the demeanor or the air of our team somewhat changed a little bit, or were you still seeing a lot of like uh trepidation, or a lot of still we still have a lot to learn, or a lot to grow into?
No, geez, I can't pick at. I mean, in terms of what the people are like out there, I mean, everybody is. I mean, apart from those that are always going to be whatever, I mean, that you can see the atmosphere around people has changed. Like, I mean, it was always going to be, like I said, about wanting Gravenberch to kind of have, all well and good, him playing well against Brentford and Ipswich. But
Mm-hmm.
if he goes and does that against Man United, that's going to be the biggest game. That's just a huge game, and it'll be it'll have the people that don't follow Liverpool all of a sudden talking about this guy, but also for Arne Slot. I mean, so I think you can see now. Yeah, a lot of people are like, well, it's a good start and before the game, but now after the game, I mean, he's got pretty much. I mean, just
Real adrenaline, or
even
real
the
jump
pundits.
start.
Well,
Yeah.
even the pundits, everybody's just. I mean, it's all like massively positive. He couldn't have asked for a better start. So I think the air around the club is like I'm sure the players were confident, but yeah, the fans needed to. I mean, no one was going to say, "Oh, demand 9 points and go and do that," but that's a brilliant way to start. And now people can feel confident to have confidence or to be confident, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because that's a
Absolutely.
proper game. It's there's no saying, "Oh, it was this, it was that." That was a proper game. A really
Yeah.
okay. It's Man United, but as they are now. But I mean, we went there and dominated. That
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, or a little bit of the way you said it too. Though, oh, hey, it's Man United. The rivalry games have always been a case where you just kind of like you don't have to. You go into them and you don't have the form, or you could have the form, and it doesn't matter. You know, like I think it was like the seven nothing that we won, the famous 7-Up game. The game before that, I believe we'd already lost to them 2-1, I believe, or it was something. They'd beaten us the game before the 7-0. You would have thought that we
yeah,
had
and
met them.
the two games last year, it's. I mean, it's just they are probably one of the worst United sides. And every now and again they act like they're not, or they. But I think we
Yeah,
really, it was so
I
there
thought it
was
was
such a lack
humbling.
of
It was very
chaos.
humbling.
Yeah,
I
there
thought
was no chaos yesterday. It was a really measured performance, and I think the fact that it was so measured really kind of they were playing for a while, but when we just actually started to play football, we showed that really how good or how bad they are. I mean, at one point it was just basically giving them the ball and waiting for them to pass it back to us.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
They were that bad.
Second
It was
half,
just like
there
give
was
them
a
the
little bit
ball
of the
without making
second
a
half.
mistake.
Yeah, the second
Yeah.
half was a little bit more of that. But by that time, we had already been up 3
Oh
nothing.
yeah, when we were 2-0 up, we were literally
Yeah,
just
2-0
giving them
or
the
3
ball
up.
and
Yeah,
saying, "Come on,
exactly.
do something else. You've already
Yeah,
done about 15 stupid things. Do something else now. We'll
yeah.
get something else out of it." It was hilarious, to be honest. And all the
That's what
Olays coming out.
that's what I saw. That's why I was asking if you'd seen. Well, not only just from our fan base, but I saw our rival fans basically saying that they thought they should have won yesterday. Like as in it was the mistakes that killed them, and that they believed that they were the better team, that they should have been up 6-3, I think it was they were saying, or 6-2 or 6-3. That's a wild take, isn't it? I see you're on mute, actually. That's a wild take for me, at least. I thought it was a pretty wild take. And to think that they were the better team. It's one thing to think that you got unlucky, but to think that you're the better team, that was surprising. That was surprising. Pick up Anfield Roar, pick up John Conway, pick up Nolante, pick up Reals and Jarrett, pick up Hash. I saw Lloyd in the house. I haven't seen Lloyd in a while. Pick up to you, Lloyd. Hope that you're well. Yeah. And Red Armchair supporter. Big up to you too. Big up to you too. And if you're watching this on the replay or if you're watching this live, welcome. Because today is, like I said in the description, it's going to be a little bit of some rants here and there that are well deserved, but it's going to be the best time of the day, and that is the time that you get to reflect, probably or possibly watch the game a second time. You got to watch it with a little bit less emotion that's connected to the game, and more of the clinical or the critical thinking to watch down the breakdowns. That's why I was saying while you're away.
Yeah, check the XG.
Yeah.
Aren't you?
XG
Did you see
was
that one?
1.79 for.
Did you see the quote? Did you see the quote?
1.79 for Liverpool and 1.36.
You didn't see the quote, obviously.
Oh no, I didn't.
Don't worry about it then. Don't worry.
Was that the quote? Check the XG.
No, don't worry about it. Keep whatever you do. What you're doing. Sorry, interrupt.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, that was the XG.
No, it's a joke. No, I know it was a joke about if you'd seen the quote, you'd know it's a joke. I'll bring it up later.
Okay. And 1.36 was for Manchester United. We had 6 big chances, 3 big chances for them. The reason why I heard that Manchester United was more in the game, or possibly in some perspectives, were the better team yesterday, despite better team with, I guess you could put air quotes around it, because they were saying how if it wasn't for their mistakes, then they would have won yesterday. But because when you look at total shots, there's 11 shots by us, 8 shots by them. And
but anybody who watched that game,
they wouldn't have said that.
Yeah. Well, anybody has eyes in their head. It's not, you don't need any assistance with that one. I wouldn't be looking up the stats if I was a Man United fan. No, it's just, I was just making a joke because Ten Hag came out afterwards and they were asking him about stuff, and he just said like,
did he deflect it?
Well, yeah, he was saying like, "Oh, I saw there actually. Well, it wasn't that high." Blah blah blah. It's like, dude, seriously, that's all you've got.
Yeah,
you've just gotten. The XG wasn't. I didn't think it was that good. I mean, seriously, that is not a good look. Just say nothing instead. Like, I mean, they got schooled in every way. I mean, we made them make mistakes. Oh yeah, if we hadn't have done that, then ye wouldn't have done that. Yeah, but that was the game. Like, he messed up and we made you pay. That's how the game works. I mean, we could all sit here and say, oh, well, if we didn't do that, then we would have won this game or that game. I mean, they're crazy. Like, I even saw one guy today, like he's one of the biggest Man United fans, and he will go for you like in a heartbeat. Like, he has no fucking fear about that at all. And he's just like, yeah, look, whatever. I got Oasis tickets, so that's all really I care about this weekend. It's like, and he's trying to be serious. He's like, look, yeah, good, well done, Liverpool, but to be honest, I got Oasis tickets, so that's all I care about.
Yeah,
it's right. Okay, mate. Yeah, good for you. Yeah, you can pretend all you want. They weren't saying that last season.
Yep. Yep. Because last season was a time of we were the time that was their time to be spoilers. That was their time to be
Oh, they
to
were
be.
dancing on our grave. They
Yeah.
were dancing on our grave last season. They were all about how they'd stop their everything. They'd ruin their season. So it mattered then, so it matters now. But
Right.
they'll pretend it won't. They're the kings of pretending it don't matter because of something else. They are the kings of that, because they know they can't really go into it. So
Mm-hmm.
they'll just go straight to, oh yeah, but it doesn't matter because of this and some abstract thing. That's their go to because
Yep.
they have
Yep.
nothing else.
Yep. That's pretty much what they resorted to yesterday. That's why it was so funny when I heard that some of the forums. I was like, okay, okay, you would have won if you hadn't
Or
done
it,
this, hadn't done
it
that, hadn't done this, hadn't done that. And
yeah,
I'm like, isn't that the point of isn't
or
that how you
it doesn't
upgrade a bad
matter.
game is
Yeah,
by not making mistakes?
like I think the one I'm hearing is, oh, it doesn't matter because this is year one of Ineos. Ugh,
Oh, really?
I mean, Jesus, it's like, okay, whatever, but I mean, come on. Oh, it's not year one of it's not no, it's like what are they saying? It's not year three of Ten Hag, it's year one of Ineos. Oh Christ, man.
Oh,
That's
that's rich. That's rich. That's
yeah.
definitely rich. Um, because I have heard it's game three for Arnie, and it's year three for Ten Hag.
Yeah. No, apparently not. It's a new era, so everything starts again. So all the last 2 years, forget about that. Apart from the thing they won, you have to remember that. You're not allowed to forget that, but you have to remember. You have to forget all the other stuff. Is that okay? Cool.
Mhm.
Let's go. That's what they want you to think.
What was last night or yesterday, I should say? What was the what tactic do you think that Slot applied was tactical genius move for taking the Red Devils out of the game yesterday? What was it that you saw on the pitch that Liverpool was doing that really shut down any attempts by the Red
Uh,
Devils?
really aggressive pressing and snap tackling when it needed to be done, like really, really fast, really quick.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, very patient when like Robbo came out afterwards was saying like at 2-0 he's like yeah just kill the game kind of thing, and
Mm-hmm.
you could see I was saying like when we went 3-0 up, in the minute after we went 3-0 up, we tried to immediately score again, and I was kind of saying that's like some of that old Klopp DNA seeping back in. That immediately, like when we'd score one, we'd go and score three, four. We try and do that.
Mm-hmm.
But Robbo was saying like Slot is much more. He wouldn't want that, but you could see us kind of. I think it was like muscle memory from the Klopp years. Salah was like, "Come on, let's get another. It's Old Trafford. Come on, let's get four. Let's get five. Let's get." You could see it, but Slot was like, "No, no, no." So
It's
I
enough.
think the
Yeah, the pain's
patience.
over. The pain. It's enough. It's enough pain.
Yeah, I
We're
think the
the
patience of
animals.
it was like, yeah, I don't know what tactical genius, his genius part of like about it, like again, but I just think yeah, the 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 kind of the arrogance to basically give them the ball,
Yeah.
basically passing it
Okay.
back to them and giving it to them,
Yeah.
and knowing and backing them to make a mistake and give us the ball back pretty much in a much more dangerous area than we could probably get it into ourselves. Like literally giving them a hand grenade and they're just pulling the pin themselves.
Right.
It's like let them do it. They can't pass. Have you seen what they've been up to?
Yeah.
Mainu
Well,
did the same thing when they took off Casemiro. He did exactly what Casemiro did. Got caught on the ball for the third goal. I mean, it was hilarious. It was just funny. It was like we're actually just giving them the ball and waiting for
there
them to
was
make a mistake at their
there was a
house.
quote. That's a great segue. There was a quote yesterday, or at least a stat yesterday, since they want to utilize stats. Manchester United lost possession 90 times in the build-up play, um, far above the Premier League average. Last season, they exceeded 90 just 5 times. As a result, only 20.3% of their attacks from their own third reached Liverpool's half. That's that's a pretty damning stat right there.
Yeah,
And
means you can't get the ball from one end of the pitch to the other. Basically, you're not capable of progressing the ball from your goalkeeper to your attackers. You're literally
Yep.
not able to do it. And you're called Manchester United, by the way, and you cost about 800 minutes. So, well done, lads.
Yep. Welcome to Lee, by the way, joining us. How are you doing, Lee?
Hey, Lee.
Good, yeah. Still good today. Still basking in the afterglow, as we all are.
Definitely.
Surprised you didn't take a day trip to Manchester, man.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised you didn't hop on the
Just
bus
grin.
tour.
Just going around this town grinning.
Well, so I asked the Irishman that question. I'll ask you, and you can tell me in the chat too. What about yesterday made you smile? Like, as in what was that feel? I asked that before about last week, that feel good moment. What was your feel good moment yesterday when you're that moment where you're just like, oh, mate, you know, you might be like, oh, that's what I've been looking for. That's what I've been waiting for.
And not when you're
It's
third
left
point.
field and out of nowhere, but I enjoyed Ruud van Nistelrooy's face on the bench sitting next to Eric Ten Hag. That delighted me. His horsey face, that long face of his, like
quite a long face, Ruud. Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Well, we used to call him Ruud van Nistelrooy because just before United bought him, like he got a bad injury, and there was a video of it where he jumped up the header in training, and when he landed, his knees just broke, and he went dead loud, and it was funny. So we call him Ruud van Nistelrooy because of that. But he did go on to be a great striker at United and was a great striker, but I'll never forget that video. Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Oh, once you've seen that, yeah. If you've ever seen that, you remember it. Yeah, the scream, because there's no other. It's just some random dude with a camcorder.
He was splitting his scream, and I did feel bad for the man, but like because he was a United player, it didn't really matter. Like it made me laugh.
Yeah, like it's not like a training video. It's literally some guy with a camcorder that just happens to have it pointed at some guy that's throwing a ball up for him, and he jumps, and all you can see in the picture is some guy in Van Nistelrooy. It looks like they're just out in a field on their own.
Yeah.
And he jumps up and he lands, and there's no sound on it, so all you can hear is Van Nistelrooy just literally screaming like he's been shot.
It was I didn't scream.
I get that you guys like the moment. There was a moment when that was probably like a close second for me, because there was a moment where
I forgot he was there.
They showed. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'd forgotten they'd made him coach until.
Yeah.
He was a very good striker. Like he was excellent, Van Nistelrooy. Like you know, that's why it was funny. You know what I mean? Because I didn't see it until after he landed in Manchester. I wasn't aware of this video. Like this was before they bought him, not long before they bought him, and it delayed their buying of him. Like. But it was a big thing. It used to be a magazine called Cop Magazine, and they have cartoons, drawings of United players and make up puns on their names. Like, and that's just what it reminded me of seeing them. Like, and it was very nice and nostalgic to see him. Like,
I was gonna say, like, yesterday, there was a moment when they had on television, and you knew they were going to go to it because after a while, the game was pretty much already written. As to like it was just a matter of will they get any consolation goal or something like that. And they showed the crowd, and they showed Ineos, they showed Ratcliffe, and they of course showed Sir Alex.
Oh, and then, every time.
It was just like they did the
they need to stop wheeling them out.
Like just kind of like silent, just kind of like staring off into nothing. That was certainly like a feel-good moment, but I think my feel-good moment was when you could hear the Liverpool faithful singing, and that was it. It was at times where it felt like it was Anfield on tour. You know what I mean? And like there was like no, you couldn't hear any noise from the Red Devils. So it was just silent, and that's probably pretty much because they were like Liverpool was like pretty much the only fans left at the end of the game. Pretty much were the only fans left in the stands. Like there was just patches of empty seats.
It was like second goal went in. There was hardly a peep out of their fans, was there? Their fans were really quiet.
I was hearing that
second goal went in.
Minutes. long before anyone left, there was still patches when you could just hear us, even when it was still full.
Yeah.
It was still just us singing. Like, it just shows you, like, these days we were complaining about the atmosphere the last time at home, and just shows you it really, like, it's kind of the hardcore away fans that are the people that sing, you know.
Right.
So it's when a crowd goes quiet, you see, like, our boys are there to take advantage of it. They're not going to be caught being quiet either. They're going to make sure that they're going to sing, you know.
Right.
That's always, I mean, the Olays were coming out. You could hear Liverpool songs. You had Fergie with the only thing that was missing from that Fergie one was Kenny Dalglish being 2 feet in front of him laughing his tits off. Those are the best ones when you can see, like, the last few times when we've been at Anfield, they've cut the Fergie, but they've all been in. So Kenny is always like about 4 feet away or 4 seats away from him, just either laughing, is openly laughing, or trying to be respectful and not laugh at the fact that we just put 5 past them.
Not really like laugh,
so
not laugh right in his face type thing. Yeah.
Oh, but Kenny is the man for that stuff, and Fergie sitting there with a face like Red Thunder. You know, you can't beat it. These are the extras. These are the cherries on the cake that you get.
I only ever read one Kenny Dalglish biography. There's loads of Liverpool fans out there who'll read like 20 Dalglish biographies, but I only ever read one, and it was a good one. And the foreword was by Alex Ferguson, because they are reasonably friendly. Unbeknownst to many people, and I like that. You know what I mean? It takes a little bit of the bile out of the United Liverpool thing. That at least two of our main men were actually quite friendly. You know what I mean? There was no like beef between them at all, like nothing.
But they're Scottish, you know, like that they'll go at each other in public, and then they'll be in the back later on laughing at it, because that's what the Scots are like. They'll be like, well, look, you know, I had to say it. And he's like, of course you did. Absolutely, man. I would have said the same thing. We're playing you next week. You know, it's all the business. But after, you know, they can sit down and have a drink. Absolutely. They're from the old school, Aberdeen, Celtic, back in the 60s, the 70s. Yeah, they're old school guys. They're not going to fall out unless they were, you know, I mean, the Roy Keane thing, if they didn't fall out over that, you know, they're probably never going to fall out. I mean, he fell out with Roy Keane. He didn't fall out with Alex Ferguson coming in and stealing the player. But yeah, I love seeing Kenny in the crowd for these big games as much as they probably like seeing Ferguson. But there's nothing.
I was surprised when I read that Kenny biography. I was surprised to find that the foreword was by Ferguson, and I was quite stunned, you know, to read what he said and that, like. And
interesting pick as well. I mean, most Liverpool fans wouldn't really give a shit what Alex Ferguson thought about anything. You know?
No, I wouldn't normally, or if I did, it'd be to laugh at it, like, and deride it. But this I was pleased about, you know what I mean? It was a really good biography, like. And I enjoyed finding that out, at least that they can't abide each other, like, sometimes.
It was a joy also yesterday to not really sit and complain too much, at least. I mean, every fan is always going to complain a bit about the refereeing, but
no problems.
It was good to see that this certain individual, he's got his kid on actually, Mr. Taylor, didn't. It's good to see that he didn't really over involve himself in the game, try to take on the
didn't need to. Didn't need to. It was a meltdown of their own making. He could have just stood there and watched. I'd say.
Yeah, it probably burned up inside. I'm sure he probably threw that jersey down on the ground after that game. But
I do get persecution complex sometimes when he's the referee. You know, like everything.
What's his name?
Is designed to fucking do our heads in.
Which one is he?
What?
It's not.
What's his name?
Anthony Taylor, isn't it?
Anthony Taylor. Is it?
Taylor, yeah.
Literally, I told you I don't let those things into my brain. I blocked them out. I didn't even know.
Oh, I thought you had like a funny nickname or something for him.
No, I don't.
It's a tough gig for referees, isn't it? It's a really tough gig for referees, like to not dislike referees. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was, but it was still those. There was. I was happy to see that wasn't involved. That wasn't happy. That was my happy moment or my happy-go-lucky moment type thing.
There was a few were trying to say that Casemiro that he was taken off because, you know, he was on a yellow and he'd already kind of done McAllister. Like, as he said, look, take it or leave it, whatever. But one more kind of slip and he was going to be off. That's probably also true.
Oh, yeah.
He would have, but I mean, that's not why he was taken off. He probably would have gotten sent off, I'd imagine, had he come on. But like, I was just watching a video there earlier on, Football Iconic. He makes great videos, and he was kind of saying he's a Man United fan, but he makes videos about football. He very rarely brings up his Man United bias, but he was talking about it today, and he said Casemiro absolutely 100% needed to be taken off.
Right.
But did I think he was actually going to do it? No. And I thought, okay, that was because everyone, we're all laughing, going, you know, take him up. But I mean, that's a huge call to rip off the guy's got 14 Champions Leagues, 12 La Ligas.
And make him on this day, make him
take him off at half time. He says, of course he needs
the sacrificial lamb in that sense.
Yeah, he never thought he would actually go ahead and pull the trigger on it.
Well, how about this then? Did you think, and I'll ask Lee, then I'll ask you, Irishman, did you think that was? Do you think that it was harsh to say that Casemiro was, I guess you say, the scapegoat, or he was the fall guy, basically? Because wait. Let me just caveat, or not caveat, but let me at least give you a little context for that, because it was very interesting takes on the panel. One panel that I saw have one of our Liverpool legends, Stephen Nicol, on there, and he basically said that he was in defense of Casemiro. Basically, he was the only panelist that was saying that there was more to it. It was like, even though Casemiro gave the ball away a couple of times, he wasn't. He was like a problem within a bigger problem, you know?
Yeah, Casemiro's used to playing with sharper players around him. He hasn't got that at United. Do you know what I mean? Right. To blame him, and put him as the scapegoat, okay, it's funny and that, like, we like laughing at their players, but it's a whole team, and it was a whole team. It was just inept. It was great to see. It was great to see, like, but putting it all on Casemiro's bollocks, like, you know what I mean? He's used to playing with better players, more alert, alive players, like, and he's found himself at his age in this United team, and it's hard work for him, isn't it? Like, and I'm not surprised.
Okay. I mean, the other panelists, this is on ESPN, obviously, and the other panelists were all just saying how Casemiro was a travesty. It was like, you know, he was just slow. He was like giving away the ball. And those are all true. But he was just saying, he was basically focusing on the fact that his supporting cast was equally poor, if not worse, at times.
I don't look. I'd say two things. I don't know why anybody would go out on a limb to defend Casemiro. Probably had one of the worst games he's ever had individually.
That's why I was very interested. And for it to be a former Liverpool legend too. Yeah,
and of course, you know, two things can be true. Like, they were all awful, but he was particularly awful as well. He was a 2 out of 10. The other guys around him were all bad. Yeah, it's never just one guy, but he also did have an absolute nightmare of a game. So both things can be true. Like, Stevie is right and the other guys are right. It's probably Stevie. A lot of times ex-pros will try and kind of stick up for someone, maybe just for some whatever reason. I mean, Stevie was at the end, you know.
Normally that's because they've been there before.
Sometimes, they've been there before.
They've had that kind of game, and they've been there. They've been in that same position.
But you also don't need, if you're doing a panel show on ESPN, the last thing you need is 4 people who all agree with each other.
Yeah. Well,
you need somebody to have a different. But I can just,
this game made it very difficult not to say Liverpool.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's what
that's just we're dominant. Liverpool or Red Devils played poorly, whichever. Because that was the question, and that was another question, I guess, is that was this a Liverpool win, or was this more of a Red Devil loss? For you, Irishman, was it a Red Devil loss, or was it a Liverpool win?
Be clear. Yeah, no, I just wanted to say on Casemiro. I mean, the guy played some of the worst passes he could have picked to play in the game.
Mhm.
He
Mhm.
gave us, the first goal. Gave Gravenberch the ball and just said, "There you go." I mean, he gave up on Szoboszlai when Szoboszlai had the ball on the touchline. You're talking about someone who like kind of had his Gary Neville moment nearly. This is
Mhm.
like I'm going to. So he is going to be massively scapegoated, but there's always a scapegoat for something. But I mean, there's none of them came out with anything. Like they were all like Dallow all over the place. So yeah, but the guy, if he'd had a brilliant game, he wouldn't have made those mistakes, and that team around him wouldn't have been, as disjointed. Like there's a really famous story. Well, it's famous enough when he had signed for Manchester United, basically, and they were getting tonked every week. They were getting humiliated all over the place, and he had kind of signed for them, but it hadn't gone through, and it was basically a done deal. But he was still in Madrid, and they were 3-0 down at half time against Brentford. And I don't know how this got out, but it got out. And he sent a text to his agent and it said, "Tell them I'll fix this." Like, dude, you know, if you could rewind the clock, he's literally saying, text the manager, tell the board, when I arrive, we get the deal done because I'm going to fix this.
Mhm.
Oh, man. He
Mhm.
really hasn't. He really,
Yeah.
really hasn't. I mean,
Well,
he
that,
didn't
well,
know what
then
he was
yesterday
getting into.
was what was yesterday? Was it a Liverpool win, or
Of
was
course, it's
it?
Liverpool win.
Or
Fuck
no, no,
those.
no, no.
Yeah, no, I
Or
know what you're saying.
yeah.
Man United lost stuff. Yeah, no way. No, look, we forced them into all of those mistakes. We outplayed them tactically. We outtaught them. We outpassed them. We outplayed them. We
Okay.
forced them into making mistakes. Yeah, anybody? Oh, well, that was a United loss because they had 11 shots and they didn't have a shot on goal. They didn't create any of those three big chances they created. None of
Mhm.
those were created before they were 2-0 down. They were all created after they were 2 or 3-0 down when the game was over.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, no, anybody that wants to, oh, look, it was more Man United this than that.
It
I
was
mean,
after
I've even,
it was 3-0. That's when the
yeah,
changes
that's when
happened.
they made their three big chances. So,
Yeah. Lee, was yesterday a Liverpool win or was yesterday a Red Devils loss?
It was 50-50. It was half that they were terrible and half that we were just too good for them. Yeah, last season, we got beat there twice, didn't we? Or did we draw and did we lose
Mm.
both of them, or was it a
well, the
draw?
cup and the cup and the league.
Yeah, so that sort of upset the rhythm of things. Like, and I wasn't expecting it to be that easy. It was a parade yesterday, and that was the
Mhm.
great thing about it. Like that, we didn't have to do much to see them off. You know, the points were safe fairly quickly, like weren't they?
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
mean, this
I
was
see that.
really
I see
savage.
that. MK
Like,
Tubb believes the same as you. He said both.
the thing
It was
with
like
Casemiro is when Casemiro arrived in England, like in my mind, he come here with the billing of the man who keeps Fabinho out the Brazil team. Was like, okay, who's better than Fabinho at that position? And it was Casemiro. And then he arrives in England at
right.
Man United, and it goes bloody awfully for him, doesn't it? Like,
How about this? This is a good shout by Ian too, by the way. Thought Ian says, big up to you, Ian, by the way. He said, thought Andy Robbo looked like his old self yesterday, good moving forward and snapping into tackles on Garnacho, etc. It was great to see. I agree. We said
Yeah.
it, one on the little rant, there were a lot of people that were already saying how Robbo's washed and, we need to find a replacement. That was the active call out there was that we're going to find a replacement. It was going to possibly be like a player like Eight Naori, for instance, who ended up getting cooked by Chelsea that day when I were asking, like, is this the left back that we want to transition to? Are we sure we want to?
Some random
Because,
kid from Paraguay.
yeah, because
No, man.
at this moment, like Robbo still is one of the better defensive minded left backs in the league, and he can put a pass or two together. Not bad. Not bad for what they're now calling the old man at 30.
Yeah, hopefully he's just getting warmed up, Robbo. You know what I mean? He's getting warmed up, like
More time on the ball, less crazy madness, less up and down the line every 5 minutes. I think you're
yeah,
going to
more
get more out
using
of
his
his legs.
brain as he
You get
ages.
more out of these boys' legs.
What he's
Definitely.
learned.
Yeah, taking the foot off the pedal at 2-0, that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't see any problem. If you're talking about Simicast or Robbo, I don't think it's even a conversation. I think he's coming. He's shown he's well able to still. I mean, 3 clean sheets. He's part of that defense. Trent is part of 3 clean sheets. He can't defend apparently.
Yeah. Can I ask this? Can I ask this then? There were a lot of hail to Mainos out there. There are a lot of like the prodigal son. He's like the star boy. Was Mainu coming into this game? Do you think that maybe, I'm just saying maybe, some of the fast laid, this is the heir, or this is the new king of the midfield. Maybe it was a little bit too quick to pass him that acclaim, I guess. Would you say, Lee? Do you know what I mean by that? He's a lot for this is for Kobe Mainu. Because
Mainu. Yeah, I like Mainu. Mainu's a really good player. I do like Mainu, but he struggled as well yesterday. Some of the tackles he put in, he got it off the pitch, like, couldn't he? I said that at half time to someone who was standing at the bar where I watched the match. Like, it's like he's going to go off him soon. Like, and he came close, didn't he? He was lucky, really, not to see red. I thought Mainu, but he is a good player. I do like him.
Lost the ball 12 times, had 2 fouls. Was fouled once, but committed 2 fouls. The 3 tackles, 1 interception. Error. He had 1 error that led to a goal. That's never a stat you want to have on your list. It was 2 out of 3 for
he lost the ball to Sposler for third one.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to judge him on his game stats. I'm not going to judge him on his career so far. If a load of people went out there and said he's going to be the next whatever, that's on them.
Right.
He's too young. I mean, give him 5 years, and he's at, like, this is the thing, like, he's at the wrong club.
Yeah.
You can be all that, but if you're at that club at the moment, probably not the best place to be. I think he got voted Young Player of the Year last year. He got to the Euro squad. I've seen him do stuff on the ball. You can see why he's so highly rated. But what is he, 18? We'd be asking for time. People shouldn't be coming out and calling him this, but he gets into a Man United team, and
19.
he gets into an England team.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still a kid, Obviously, people are going to talk him up when they break out like that. He's a breakout player this season. But yeah, give him plenty of time and see how good he is. But yeah, it's like being at Chelsea. It's you're kind of have one hand tied behind your back in terms of how you progress. Like, would he be better off at Man City? Who knows? But who knows? Would he be better off at Liverpool? But yeah, he does have it. That's, like I say, one hand tied behind your back. And that was thing. I remembered it now when you were saying it about Van Nistelrooy. Like, that's what all the Man United fans are saying. It's only a matter of time before he takes over, and Hag will be gone. That's why he was brought in. It's like Ten Hag was given this extension, but he was kind of told that he had to have certain coaches. Like, he didn't want Van Nistelrooy. He was told that Van Nistelrooy was coming in, sort of thing. So that doesn't sound great, But that's kind of the word on the Manchester United grapevine, because Van Nistelrooy was a manager in Holland already. He's not just been a coach. So I wouldn't be surprised, Lee, if he's in the dugout soon enough.
Could well happen, yeah. There's a lot of discontent, isn't there, over there?
Yeah. I mean, most managers wouldn't survive what he did last season, and then he starts off with this.
Well, they're
loses
talking. Yeah, they're
Brighton.
talking. He won't surprise 10 games, much less get to December, possibly. Must even make it to December, I should say. Meaning, you're talking about Eric Ten Hag, right?
Oh yeah, if he loses 2 more games in the next 5, he's like I said. This Manchester United fan or managers have been sacked for way less than what he's been allowed to get away with. But he's sitting behind him now on this row. I think he knows really. It's not a great work environment. He knows he's not really valued by the club, but they couldn't get someone else, so they brought in this other guy. And then he goes and gets literally schooled by Arne Slot yesterday. Yeah. If you were a United fan, would you how badly would you want to go? If we were getting this from our manager here 3 years, I mean, good Lord, like with all that money spent and get beat 3-0 at home by a United team, we'd be going crazy. I don't know how he still has a job. I really don't get it. Shows how far they've fallen that guy can still just be there, kicking around the can.
Big up,
Anthony
big
on
up,
the bench.
Thank you for that. He forgot to mention that Owen Beck got his debut for Blackburn this weekend. He impressed a lot and continues his upwards trajectory from being the best left back in Scotland from last season. Big up to Owen Beck. You had a little moment in the sun yourself this weekend. That's certainly true. Hello to Marion, too, by the way. She's just joining us. There was just some interesting headlines, I think, yesterday that kind of wrote themselves. I didn't know, I call it the field goal moment. Maybe some might call it, what was your headline moment, as well. What was or some could call it the headline moment. Was there a headline moment for you yesterday? Lee, did you have a headline moment then?
No, what I was just thinking though is I would like to read some of the Dutch newspaper articles about Slot versus Ten Hag to see what's being said in Holland about that game. I would like to read that stuff. If anyone can clue me in on what's been said already, that would be greatly appreciated. If anyone's been reading the Dutch newspapers, let me know.
Hyler will probably tell you once he got their Telegraph and something like that. Hyler will know.
Yeah,
but
the artist that I had yesterday for the show, he's from Holland, actually.
Well, I'd imagine it's a big thing in Holland to have 2 Dutchmen in charge of England's 2 biggest teams.
It's huge. It is huge. No, it is massive. It is a big deal. Yeah. Before the game, it was. Yeah, you're right. For them, it's pretty special. They're not so happy about
how it's doing, but yeah. But it is an honor for them to be looked at in the football community as having 2 big
football, and they know that United is poison chalice at present. So hopefully they'll get on board with Slot and his LFC stuff and start really laying into Ten Hag. It ain't far away, is it, Holland? It doesn't take long for it to reach here, the news. This is what I'm hoping anyway.
I see the chat is talking about. I think they were talking about. So I saw Bernie bring up their captain, or lack of the little puppy, the lost puppy from the first half, basically. Mr. Bruno. There's a certain difference when it comes to. It was like that picture was certainly like the telltale difference between the level of leadership that you get from your captain as opposed from Virgil to Bruno.
To me, that guy, he puts in some good performances, but he's just not a captain. It's his attitude, and that feeds into the whole team.
How about for you yesterday? Do you think that Irishman that when you saw Bruno on the pitch, did you say, "Oh wow, he's just showing them the way," or at least they're still fighting, those kind of things, or was it Go ahead.
I wasn't paying much attention to Bruno really until Van Dijk went and gave him a little cuddle, make sure he was all right. They weren't having any impression. I didn't really notice any of their players doing anything. Like I said it from day one, like him being as I know he's very, very popular there. He is, we're not United fans, but
Yeah,
Man United
he's a great
fans, they
player.
really like him.
Not
They like
captain.
him.
He's not
Yeah,
captain.
but he's not captain. I said it from day one.
See that?
Yeah, the fact that he's your captain kind of says it all. It's fine to have him as your best player and your favorite player, but the fact that a guy that acts the way he does is your captain,
Mm.
that it really just says everything about your club, and maybe also the fact that he was the best choice, even with all those things taken into regard, says
Mm.
even more about their club.
Mm.
I'm sure his teammates love him and the fans certainly do. We put up with this, you'd love him if he was one of yours, you hate him, all that kind of crap.
Mm.
But as captaincy material, the guy that's going around diving and trying to get other people sent off and faking stuff, yeah, that's yeah. I mean, again, it's just emblematic.
I find him lovable too. Like I'd like him if he was our player and done some of the things he's done for them, for us. But
Yeah, you still want to give him a slap a few
the
times,
last
though.
thing I want him to be is our fucking captain. Like if he played for
No,
us.
you don't want to embarrass the club.
Exactly.
He'd embarrass your club, I think.
Yeah.
That about sums
But
him up.
that's just Bruno's nature. That just like he yells in people's faces. He throws his arms up, makes all these theatrics. He gets tapped or barely touched and falls down like someone just like trying to commit murder.
And then they lose 2-0.
This is I think even the ball boy. If you look at the ball boy's face, even the ball boy's like,
I'm unsure what he's meant to be doing there. Is there some tortoise in the hare scenario where he's saying to Virgil, you seem to be miles ahead at the moment, but just turn your back on me.
Yeah, like even the ball boy, like he's like, there's nothing wrong with him.
Yeah, he's all right. He does these things. He doesn't look any bit mad. He's not up in arms. He's not like, oh my gosh, Bruno might be out. No, that's Bruno being Bruno. What a little.
The only one that comes close in Manchester is Bernardo Silva for being loathsome. Like, you know what I mean? He's a loathsome character, Bernardo Silva, isn't he? What I like about him, though, is that
that's what it is, by the way.
He knows it and he buzzes off it, which it's not too bad when a player knows it and buzzes off it and does it more. If you know what I'm saying, like I am a fan of that type of thing. He plays up to it, Bernardo Silva, doesn't he? Like he goes, I know he's
This is. I was gonna say, Ian got it correct. This is the moment. It's bow down to the king, man. Bow down to the king, for sure.
That's what always made me laugh about Suarez when he pulled Raphael's ear to get him all aggro, and like less than a minute later, Raphael was sent off for going right through Lucas. Mm-hmm. You've got to have a villain sometimes, like, haven't you?
Yeah. There was a bow down to the king moment yesterday too. There were some out there that did have some worries, I guess you could say. They had, because we hadn't made a signing, because we hadn't which is not going down the route saying that we don't need or this, that, yada, yada, but or wouldn't have taken a signing, I should say. But yesterday, there was a young man who really, really showed and proved that he's here to play. And there were some that once, even though he played well, they were still deflecting and saying how Gravenberch, for instance, he did not, I forget how they put it, even though he played so well, he wasn't technically playing the six. Therefore, that's why he was this, that. And I'm like, could have just been that Gravenberch was making the 6 his own. The interpretation of what we saw yesterday was a player that is being able to, and I'm putting all 3 of these players because I thought the midfield played phenomenal yesterday. Could have been maybe that Gravenberch is making this role his own, and it's great to see. He's taking the bull by the horns, in essence, and really making it difficult to say that, maybe we do have a solution on this team. Maybe we do have someone that can bring us different angles to the game and different perspectives of what a 6 could be for this club. Lee, were you from the three gentlemen here? Actually, did you was Gravenberch still the star for you yesterday, or was it? Or did you think that they were all
in the midfield? Yeah. The boot room boys always used to say it was more interesting to hear the opposition's opinions of your players, and it's interesting to hear the opposition's opinions of our midfield now the clock's gone.
Yeah.
It's shaped what it's doing, how it's functioning. I get more out of hearing what like rival fans are saying than what our fans are saying about how our midfield is now after 3 games. Right?
For Gravenberch yesterday, he had 56 touches, 34 out of 41 passes completed, had 6 possessions won. He had 7 duels won. He had 4 interceptions, the most of anyone on the team. He had 3 fouls won, or he won 3 fouls. That was the most of any on the team. And he was 2 for 2 from his tackles yesterday. Gravenberch came to play yesterday. Absolutely came to play. And again, this is someone that we were still Zuba-Mendy'd up to not really allow for say, hey, maybe Gravenberch should.
Can we? Yeah. Okay. We need to move on from that though. We're good. We know he's playing well.
Well, no,
we know he's doing it, but it doesn't need to be. Yeah, I mean, we're good. If everybody wants
to games, doesn't he? Like
I don't know, man. If a player plays well, that's an excellent game.
No, but it's not. I know we can say.
We can certainly give him praise in the day.
That's
especially when all I've heard was that Gravenberch can play defense. It's like the same narrative. It's like you can say that now, but easily he could fall into that same narrative. For instance, yesterday I thought that Trent played a pretty decent defensive game yesterday for Trent. But yet that narrative, Trent can't play defense, can't do this, can't do that. Sometimes you got to call it out for what it is, because like you're not going to get those that many days at least for especially some of these players to be able to praise his efforts in that matter.
I want to enjoy where we are now, but I do want to see us tested more. Like I want to see us tested by a decent opponent, like sometime soon. Because
that's what I would like to see that. Yeah,
I was surprised that we didn't get that yesterday. I want to see us like tested a bit more.
I thought Dominic had a good game yesterday, though. Dominic's been much maligned as well this season, and this year is a real telltale. I know it's 3 games in. I know it's only 1 game, but these things are very, very promising to see. That they're.
What I'm trying to say is, I just want to keep it positive. Like I just want to be positive about it. Like I want to be able to because we all know a load of people out there said he couldn't do it. We all know a load of people said last year, but I just want to be able to get to the point now. I think we can be at the point. I think I'm at the point now where we can say, we can talk about how Gravenberch, how brilliant he was, without and just being positive about it, without bringing in the negativity that a load of people said he was shit. A load of people. Why do we have to keep referencing that a load of people said he was shit? I think fuck those guys. We're moved on from that.
Yeah,
we don't have to keep clapping back.
Me personally,
we don't need to constantly.
A lot of those same people that said those words or said those takes will hope that you forget about it. will hope that you forget.
Yeah, but we don't have to bring their negativity into our analysis.
I get your perspective, Brian. I get your perspective.
You know, but that's what I'm saying.
You heard it here first. Brian is doing his namaste, or says how you say namaste. Yeah. Excuse me, namaste moment here.
It's just we can talk about how good they were without having these people are out there. They're eating that humble pie. They are eating it. I mean, they made, but I mean, they are and they're out there. So
yeah,
but I mean, but we don't need to. We don't need to like. I mean, yeah, we can tell these guys they were, but we. Do you know what I'm saying? We don't need to kind of bring it up every time. I think now because it kind of does a bit of a disservice to it, where we should spend more time talking about how good he is, rather than talking.
Oh, I am. Like, yeah, I get. We all have our ways of doing it, but I feel you. I understand what you're saying. I understand. I wasn't talking about Gravenberch anymore, though. I know. I'm talking about Dominic Szoboszlai.
Yeah. No. I just.
So that's what I was just like. You're talking about Gravenberch. I'm talking about Dominic Szoboszlai yesterday. He created 4 chances. He had the second most chances created yesterday, and had 2 assists in. That's 2 assists in his first 3 matches so far for Dominic Szoboszlai. I know some might dwell on the shot that I remember I heard on the streets yesterday take away a point or half a point because he didn't score that opportunity that he had.
Yeah, he missed an open goal. He'll be kicking himself for that. Don't worry, he pretty much did.
He's
been unlocked. He's been unlocked. It's the number 10 Dom, not the Hendo Dom. It's not the right-sided midfield 3 Dom. It's Dom doing what we know he can do. It's Dom being allowed to influence,
be creative, and be
not have to be like he can drop deep. But I think they were, doing a mix and match crap that they do.
Mm-hmm.
Because Gravenberch wasn't sitting there deep either. Gravenberch was getting involved right up at the front of the play. So yeah, I think we're seeing lots of different movement from like Szoboszlai is probably not saying he was happy about it, but I reckon he's loving life under Slot more than he was potentially under last season's regime.
There's 3 good questions here. At least there's a bunch of. I'm sure there might be others, but I just saw 3 good questions roll in from the chat, and then we're going to get into these ratings at the top of the hour here. So we're now on the 30th on about 3 minutes here. Hyler said, a question to think about. Gravenberch has looked very good in his position in all 3 matches this season, but do you think Hughes has given up signing a new number 6 for the future? I think that we will still get a 6 or possibly another player, because Endo will serve a purpose this year, but is he the the future for or the future of our backup? I guess you could say somewhat too. No, he's not. He's after this year, you certainly would like to be able to say confidently you're in that transition phase of figuring out a player to get into that's going to compete with Gravenberch, at least if not serve as a backup to Gravenberch, if that's the case. There was another question here by Richard. He says, question for all: has Darwin Nunez reached his ceiling, or will he improve?
I think someone said that yesterday, didn't they? It's Slots. They were saying, "Oh, look what he's done with Gravenberch," and I think it was like, now we can move on to Darwin or something. Like, it was sort of like, now we can go on to Darwin, and I thought that was an interesting point. Maybe he is actually kind of isn't in the side yet because he's like, right, okay,
let me get this fixed first.
I need to teach.
Let me get this fixed first. Then let me work on.
Because Jota kind of knows the role already, maybe, and Darwin is like, I'll have a lot of kind of tactical work to do to get him into this because he's so different to Jota, and we're playing with a system that has Jota at the pick of it. So there's obviously work that has to be done, and I thought that was an interesting shout. That it's maybe like. It is a sentence like, right, okay, I've done Gravenberch now. Szoboszlai is fixed. Right, now Darwin. Time to get him up to speed. And that'll be really interesting to see. Because he said it earlier on. He works with, he likes him. he plays with a guy like him. He was bigging him up at the start, so I thought that was probably an interesting way of looking at it, because I, for one, have been going and said, well, look, he's sitting on the bench. He can't get off the bench. Obviously that tells you something, but what does it tell you? Can he fit him into? Can he retrain him? Can he do whatever? But it will be really interesting because he's so different to Jota. So a Darwin-led team would just automatically look very different to what we're doing right now. So that's the interesting thing. But yeah, big questions.
Lee, here's a good question for you. Michael Corleone, big up to you, by the way. Michael Corleone LFC says, do you think this is a new manager bounce, or is Slot the real deal?
Again, like the Old Trafford result, it's a mixture of two things so far. We can't go over the top, can we, at the moment? Like, he's lost the real deal, and the real deal will be greatly appreciated here on Merseyside.
Does he have to do it against City or Arsenal? Is that what you were saying? Is that kind of what you're hinting at? Like, you have to pull a result out there or something? Is it just because it's United that they're so bad? Or
again, with City, like, I couldn't really give a shit if we lost there and still won the league. You know what I mean? It wouldn't matter to me if we fucking lost there and still won the league. But I would like to think that Slot maybe has got some ideas of what to do with Pep when he gets to grips with him. Like,
I suppose it's like we'll know what he's like when stuff starts to go wrong, like when we get injuries or we get some, like when it's not good, when stuff is difficult, and then he can manage. I suppose that's when when the exits the fan,
going gets tough. Yeah,
then you'll see, can he get it together? Can he keep the team? And you're going to have those moments. So we've yet to see him in those situations. Not that we want too much of it, but yeah, like you said, go and get stuff. Like, what can he? Can he inspire the players?
It can't. Yeah, you can't help wondering, can't you?
The other player in this shot, the other player in this picture. God, I don't want to leave you out, Macca. There's been talk about how Macca is kind of like faded a little bit to the back with the play of Dom or even the play of Grava, and he's been doing a little bit more of the grunt work, I guess, and not necessarily getting the high, not high praise, but the acclamations for it. And yesterday, Alexi was 5 out of 6 for his tackles. He had 8 recoveries and had 8 progressive carries, at least, or some type of progressive action, whether it was a pass or whether it was a progressive carry yesterday. And some would have said that maybe because he hasn't been the Macca that we've been used to seeing, which is spectacular, that he had a bad game, maybe, or maybe he wasn't brilliant, as we're used to saying. Efficient, I guess, is what Nolante is saying. Macca was effectively about his business, basically. Is this the new Macca that we should come to expect, or is Macca going to have Macca going to have more cameos, or is he going to just rise to the star level that we're used to yesterday? How about for you, Irishman? What do you have to say to that? And then again, we're going to get into the ratings right after.
Well, I don't know. I think he has a new role from what I can see. He's again, like they'll all have. He can talk about. They all do different things at different times, or they're not all limited, but they do also have kind of different personalities on the pitch, maybe, as it were. McAllister was basically doing a lot more aggressive offensive work after Endo came in last season to sit and hold. He gets forward more. It's pretty obvious. Dom is there on the other side, kind of, doing a lot of defensive work and not getting involved much. So we saw the best of him that way. But I think he's very much To me, I think he's the closest thing that we have to Ilkay Gundogan, because
Ooh.
Gundogan is one of those players that he's done it before. It's like Pep will say, "Look, I need you to play in a defensive midfield role today. I don't want you getting past the halfway line. I just want you to sit there and hold it all together." And then the next game, he's like, "Look, I want you to play as an attacking midfielder and go and get goals today. That's your job." Like, because he did it with Gundogan in the run into the title last season, changed him from a 6 to an 8, and he scored, I think, 6 goals in 8 games or something stupid like that.
Oh yeah. That nice little run. Yeah, that
Yeah.
patch.
So
Some of them were
McAllister is
very
one of
important.
those guys.
They were like game
Oh,
winning
they
stuff.
were title winning games. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's the kind of player I think we have there, and I think at the moment he's just been asked to do a middle facilitator type role, which means you won't really see the flashy stuff. 2 seconds, I'll be back. Sorry.
Well, let's while Brian goes and handles that, let's get into what all the people love, and we love it here too, and that is, let's get into these ratings. By the time, I think he'll be back in time to get his rating in. And big up to everyone joining us late. Trap Joe, big up to you. Big up to Richard, by the way, too. Let's start off, as we always do, with Ali. What was your rating for Ali yesterday, Lee? What do you have to say for the man with his 3rd clean sheet so far this year? I think it wasn't a couple weeks in last year that Ali got his 1st clean sheet, much less his 3rd clean sheet. What was your ratings for Ali? And tell us what it is that you thought yesterday in the chat for Ali. And yes, it is 1 to 100. So basically, the way that the chat's doing is, if you say 8.5, that way you can say 8.5, you can say 8.7, or you can say 85, or you can say 87. So it's just that way of saying it. I see we don't have Baz in the chat, so look, we don't have like 8.5678 or something silly like that. But yesterday, what was your rating for Ali? 3 great saves, Richard. He did have three really, really great saves.
Oh, hi, sorry. Do you need my rating for Ali, do you?
I'm waiting for Lee's actually, and then we'll get to it. Go ahead, Lee.
It was a quiet day for him on the whole, but he was called into action a couple of times and fully confirmed his status as the world's #1 goalkeeper, I think. So, on that reason alone, I'll give him an 8.8.
Okay. Brian?
Yeah, like Lee said, Xerxes, wasn't it? He saved that one from, and there was one other save.
Yeah, I've seen better, more athletic looking at Ali saves, but that one will do. Yeah. That one was a moment in time also,
Yeah,
I think that's Xerxes as well. When he got another chance, he was like, I'm never going to beat this guy.
No, it's it's hard. I'm not going to give him too high. Yeah, I'll go 85. 85. Oh, okay. Happy birthday, Barney.
On the 15th. It's on the 15th.
Sorry,
on the 15th. Yeah.
I just saw it's my birthday. Sorry, bro.
Oh, yeah. I saw that. That's why I paused in the beginning momentarily, but I saw, yeah.
85.
About how on the 14th is Forrest, and her birthday's on the next day, it's the 15th. Very cool. But Bernie gives him an 88.
21 again, Bernie.
Crap Joe gave him an 87. Jimmy gave him an 85. Ian gave him an 88. A lot of, yeah. If we had Quasi, I'm sure he would give him a 10. But so there you go, Quasi. I got your shout out there. I think if we're gonna do this for Ali, it would be 80. Oh, Nolante gave him a 70. Okay. Interesting. I guess, but maybe because it wasn't anything for
85.
yeah, not 285s. Let's go with, I would say, an 87. I won't go as far as 88, but I'll go as far as an 87 for him then, yesterday. Since there's 85s or 88s and you guys gave him 2 high 80s as well. So we can roll. Mr. Ali, getting your 87. Well done, well done. Another much maligned player through the summer. Missed, had a little bit of a niggle, worked his way back, started, and is playing well for us. That is Mr. Robertson. How was Andy for you yesterday? Brian? Let's start with you. We'll just do the snake order. Let's go. Yeah.
Great. Look, it's a clean sheet away at Old Trafford. That's like a minimum 70, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Has to be.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't do much more, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
80 maybe.
80?
Yeah,
okay.
I mean 80. I suppose it has to be really minimum.
Okay.
Like that's probably the least.
If any of these players, if you need, as always, if any of these players, even in the chat, if you guys need a little bit of a clarification and you need some stat clarification, you can ask me and I'll give you the stats for the player. But an 80, I got you.
Yeah, I'm not going to go to, like, he was part of it, but he was probably, of all the ones that were part of it, like the least, you know, highest scorer, I suppose. But minimum, like 80 is huge. So yeah, 80. Yeah.
80. Okay. Wait for Lee to come off mute and get his score in a second.
82.
Nolante, 82. Bernie, 80. Trap Joe, 82. Robbo got an 80 from Jimmy. Andrew Robertson, solid performance, 75 from Richard, excuse me. Red Armchair supporter gave him an 80. What was your score for him, Lee?
For Robbo, I'm going to give him an 8.2, an 82 out of 100.
Okay.
It's not controversial.
It's not controversial. That's not controversial. I'll go.
There's a 75. There's your first low score.
There's your first 75 and bonkers. Bonkers with the Simon grade.
Coming in with a late slide tackle.
Yeah. 80 from Ian. Let's give Robbo an 80.
Gotta be an 80.
I think that's fair.
Oh, I've seen about 780s, so it's gotta be.
Yeah. I think that's fair. Next is our captain. Mr. Van Dyke. He's the Virgil Van Dyke. So, Lee, you'll start this one. What was our captain to you today? What was the rating you'd give our captain today? Or yesterday, I should say. But for yesterday, but today. I know you look like you want to say something, but you want
No, it's too much. I don't want to say any words. It's just a number. I'm puzzled about the number. What I'm going to give him. I will say.
Go with your heart. Just go with your heart.
I would say it's 7.9 in Virgil land because there wasn't much to bug him. He got booked. That didn't he, for messing around? But there wasn't much to bug him. So it's probably a 7.9 in Virgil land.
Okay. Irishman, how about for you?
Yeah, I suppose Lee has a bit of a point. It was a bit of a. I'm not going to give him extra for the entertainment value. 83. 83 for Verge. 83.
83.79. Oh, wow. Okay. The chat is going with certainly the other direction. Red Armchair Supporter gave a 90. Bonkers, 85. Richard, 85. Trap Joe, 83. Nalante, 85. Bernie, 88. Jimmy, 90. Ian, 85.
83 to 85. That's not that much difference. I think I'm there with a lot of people. I just think it wasn't like a crazy. With Verge, I just like to kind of maybe.
The man was 95% for his passing yesterday.
Oh yeah, no, I know he's Virgil. That's
69 out of 73 of Virgil's passes were directly into it. 91 touches yesterday. 91, and that's your center back.
My 7.9 is less about Virgil and more about the ineptitude of Man United's attack.
Yesterday, yeah.
It just
Virgil. But the thing about it is Virgil, I think they had like, I want to say 5 corners. I'll have to double check. But Virgil was 5 out of 5 for his aerial duels, 2 out of 3 for his ground duels. He obviously, I think he got a yellow card too. I think he did get a yellow, right?
Yeah. That to me is around 83, 85. I mean, if he'd gotten a goal and if he got
11 clearances,
then he'd be like, yeah, this is what I'm saying.
Interceptions, 2 tackles. I'm just telling you. Yeah, those.
I know. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's Virgil.
I think I'm more on the higher scale of the 80s than I am the lower scale of the 80s. But yeah, again, it's a review show, so we're all welcome to our opinions. We can split. We can go in the middle and say 85. Does that sound fair? Or should
I said 80. I mean, I said 83. To me, there's very little difference between 83 and 85. So yeah. I mean, there's a lot of 85.
That's what I'm asking, splitting the difference. So, I know there's 88s.
I mean, there's a couple of 90s, but there's a lot of 85s as well.
Yeah.
And a couple of... Yeah, I mean, that's good. I mean, getting an 85 at Old Trafford, I mean...
Yeah, still good. Still good performance. How about for his center back partner, Ibu? Heard a couple Ibu shouts yesterday. I think we started with, is it Lee? I think we started with Lee this time.
Yeah. With this, it was a slow day at the office for both of our centre halves. So Ibu can have like a 7.7 because Virgil got a 7.9 for this slow day at the office. Ibu can have a 7.7. They weren't taxed at all, were they, mentally or physically? It was just a no-go for their attack yesterday, so can't give more than that in all good conscience.
That Xerxes lad isn't a striker. I mean, they did. They not saying they had an easy day, but for players of their quality, that was never like they were never going to lay a glove. Like, I'd give him an 80.
Xerxes had his big day in the sun. I think in their first game, because he had the game winner, I think, in the first game.
But he's literally not a striker. I mean, the guy's about 6 foot, and they're throwing him up front because that guy Hyland can't stay fit, and that's all they have. Yeah, he was. When we're looking back on it now, we shouldn't be that surprised that they barely it was an hour before they'd even had a shot. I think, not a shot on target, an actual shot. Totally dominant. The two of them, I mean, yeah, it is. It's great to, like Ian's saying, it's great to see Ibu back in that that partnership of him being the strong man and Virgil being the silk. It works so well, and it is great to see him. I don't know, whatever Slot has, don't mess with it. Whatever he's wearing, whatever he's doing, don't change your socks. Whatever you're doing, because everyone's fit, everyone's healthy. Just whatever you're having for breakfast, just keep the routines, because this is all very, very promising. Slowly, in terms of us having a fully fit squad, it's not happening by accident or coincidence. I don't think it is at all. And again, the lack of intensity on the pitch in spells, not going 100% full bore all the time. That's going to have a positive impact as well, you'd imagine, on the players, fitness wise. So a lot of things that are happening, I don't. There's too many things
Yeah.
happening that to be coincidences. Players
I'm
playing
not-
well, players being fit, players being available,
We're going into this international
keeping
break
clean sheets.
on
Yeah,
the
keeping clean sheets, 3 in a
way.
row.
I don't want to come down on some barren, dismal shore like after 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Against nothing.
Well, yeah, this is the thing now, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sorry for that game.
yeah, they
So
go
you gave him a
80,
70,
80. I give 80, 80 anyway.
80 and 78, I believe you said, right? Since you didn't want to give him a point higher than our captain.
Just took him in under verge. Yeah, just took him in under
But
verge there.
the chat 90 from Trap Joe, 85 from Richard, 85 from Jimmy, 83 from Bernie, 82 from Ian. Okay. Let's put him at yeah, what was
84 or 5 sounds about right from that.
80, yeah, I'd say 80. How about 80? How about 83? 83 I think is fair. I think 83 is fair. Just a point or two off of Virgil. And if you're talking about that back line, you're going to have to obviously talk about the man who had the cameras on him, and this time he played the part, knowing that the cameras were on him. He was certainly telling the crowd and telling the faithful and some of the Red Devils too, most likely. But he was telling
You have to ask Bernie if you want a player's stats. You have to ask, otherwise we won't do them.
Oh yeah,
We'll
yeah.
move on. If you want him to bring up the stats on someone, just say it. Otherwise, because otherwise we just be reading out stats all night. If we don't need them, we just skip on. But if you want someone, if you can't make up your mind without knowing someone's stats, then just say stats in the chat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll tell you. So for Ibu last night, or did you ask for Ibu or Trent? I think that's for Ibu.
I'd say Ibu, maybe he means.
Ibu's stats last night were he had 4 clearances, he had 2 tackles, 75 touches, was 89% with his passing, 58 out of 65. Didn't connect on any of his long balls, but tried 4 long balls. Was 2 for 2 for his ground duels, 4 for 5 for aerial duels. It's great to hear. I mean, basically out of your center back pairing, if you basically had 9 aerial duels 10 aerial duels, and you won 9 of them. That's excellent. That's aerial dominance, certainly.
That's why Kwanzaa lost his place.
Yeah.
That's exactly why Kwanzaa lost his place. He got beaten every single time up against Liam Delap, the son of Rory Delap. Came through Manchester City, striker, plays for Ipswich. He's about 6'4", and he just dominated Kwanzaa. And it was off. And Ibu hasn't looked back. It really hasn't. I mean, condolences where they're due now, you know. Sorry, but so what goes around comes around, you know. What goes around comes around. He's going to learn now. He isn't guaranteed. He's going to have to
game for a long time last season. He's now sitting there and watching what Ibu's doing.
And he knows. He's learned a really important lesson.
Yeah.
He learned a really important lesson today, or this season.
Well, I think that the lesson Trent learned yesterday, like I said yesterday.
Once the fixture list thickens up, they're all going to get loads of games, aren't
He'll be back in. Oh, he'll be back in, yeah. But the learning curve, I thought, is something I'd be interested to hear him interviewed about in a year's time. But yeah, Trent
yesterday, I thought, was someone that learned his lesson, knowing again that the cameras are on him, and he basically definitely put in a good performance yesterday. We all thought that he had his Stevie G moment for a quick moment. it should have been his Stevie G moment, especially at Manchester United. But the goal was taken away.
Bloody Mo. And it
Yeah.
touches.
Yeah.
No need for it, Mo. No need
Yeah,
for it
there was
whatsoever,
no
mate.
need for it. What were your ratings for Trent yesterday, Brian? What'd you give Trent?
Oh, man. This needs to be sorted out so soon. I mean, he's putting in performance after performance. It's nothing like the bombing down the wing, classic Trent days of Klopp. But it's a hybrid. It's not like the inverted thing of last season. It's a more hybrid version that's actually doing a better version of getting him into those positions. I think to me, just off the first little while now, I think the coaching that's going on at Liverpool right now is a level above the coaching that was going on at Liverpool for the last 18 months. I'm going to come out and say it. I think that's obvious to anybody with eyes, really. And I think what Trent is doing now is a better version of what we were trying to get him to do last year.
Mm.
His natural ability is coming out just as much. Like someone said, he's doing flamboyant things. He can do that. I think we're doing a better version of getting him into offensive positions.
Mm-hmm.
So the coaching is impressing me a lot, to be honest, at the moment. I think it had gone stale. That's no, comment on anybody. I think Pep Linders will go on to have a good career. But I think we've stepped it up a notch, and Trent is slowly benefiting from that. So just get that deal, whatever it is, just get it done, get it sorted, so we can just all get on with knowing that he's happy. He's going to be here for another 4 or 5, 6 years. Because, he's perfect, probably, for this system. 3 clean sheets. Nobody talking about, space in behind Trent. Who's talking about that now? Nobody. Nobody's talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, that's not an issue anymore. Maybe that's got something to do with coaching, or the way we're setting up. I mean, we haven't changed the players. That's a great thing for Slot to fall back on. He doesn't have anybody new. He's doing all of this with the same players that Klopp had and Linders had, and I think more towards the Linders bit.
Well,
So
what
I think
was
that's
your?
a big. Sorry, I said. Oh, sorry. I'm not going to go stupid, but 87. I give more than Van Dijk, so 87. Yeah.
Lee, what was your score for Trent?
Yeah, might be similar. He started the season really well, hasn't he? It's interesting to see that he was pissed off getting subbed and all that bollocks, but we're using him when we need him, when we need to win a game, like he's on the pitch, and once the game's won, we can think about taking him off. Then you know what I mean?
Save some of his legs. Yeah,
the season really well, and he looks like he's going to fit really well with Slot's ideas of to play football, basically. Yeah, started the season. Yeah.
So what was your score? So what was your score then?
Yeah, I only give the other defenders lowest on, so I'll give Trent an 8.6.
Okay, so 86, 87
Mm-hmm.
from Brian. I saw Trap Joe give him a 90. Jimmy gave him an 80. Bernie gave him a 90. Bonkers gave him an 83. So it's kind of bouncing back and forth between 80s and 90s.
The game wasn't even obviously the centre backs were, so got to give him higher marks there. It's the only reason I lowballed Virgil and Ibu was that they weren't tested, and it just made me laugh anyway. How rubbish United were yesterday in that department, that they really had not a sweat to break, did they, either of them? But Trent, that's a really good game, yeah.
Let's give him I would have given him an 83. Let's give him a little extra. We'll give him a flamboyant extra point for being kind of returning to the Trent that we love yesterday, and that being happy.
Trafford,
yeah.
I mean, can you imagine? I mean, I'm glad nobody's taking the piss out of it, because it was a bit kind of but he did the kiss the camera thing.
Yeah.
And that just shows you VAR now. You can't even do that. Maybe he didn't plan that, but that's the iconic Gerrard thing, kiss the camera Trafford. And he goes and does it, and then it gets ruled offside. It's just that would have been so good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You
That
know,
that would have been the highlight
he won't go early again now. People won't do that again because they get caught up in the emotion, but they'll go, "Oh, I better wait." You know, you'll never get a celebration like that now.
Yeah.
Can you imagine like if we'd gone on to lose that game? That's all, man.
Oh
Like,
yeah, then that would have been
meme
the highlight. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'd be just a big meme. Oh, look at that Trent thinking he scored, but they want to, he, like you said, he missed a bit of it. That was a moment for him. You could tell, like, scoring, hitting it the way he did.
Yeah. How
And
about
everyone
for
thinking the check? Sorry, everyone thinking the check was for over the line or not. And then there was that. Then you got that. Scratch, double. Double back another check. It's like and apparently they checked the
Oh, it
other
was a
one.
good shot. It was a good shot too, by the way, because I mean he just basically just picked up and blasted it into the goal, and it was just like, if the ball, even if the guy was, even if the guy was on the line or even in front of the line, Trent hit that so hard, I thought it was going to carry him into the goal anyway, a little bit.
Definitely. Yeah.
So he was like, "I'm going to take you with me if necessary." So, we spoke on we'll move into the midfield. We spoke on the midfield earlier at length about their performances. So let's get a score in for Ali yesterday. Yeah. Let's get a score just in for Ali. What would you have said for Ali, Brian?
70.
70? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just a score for Ali yesterday, Lee.
76. 76.
Okay. Out there in the chat, tell us what you thought of Ali yesterday as a number. Just tell me what you guys think, and then we'll get Ali's rating in.
Sorry, it's a bit low, but I'm excited by the idea of United being such a non-event as a test for our players that none of them really deserve away.
Richard gave him a 75. Bonkers gave him a 71. Mac got a 80 from Trap Joe. Okay. The 80 and the 75s, or 75 from Ian.
77. Just call it 75. I'd call it at 75.
I always want to make sure I do that relative to other ones. I'd 75. 75.
I think it looks about right.
I had him at 73, but 75 looks fair. 75 looks fair. I saw. Oh yeah, I did see that from Bernie. Bernie gave him 78.
Yeah.
Just a rating for. Let's just go. Just a rating for Mr. Gravenberch. Gravenberch. Bonkers gave him 95. I'm waiting for Lee to come back, and then I'll ask.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, I didn't know you're still here. Okay. Can you give us a grade for Ryan? Just a grade. You don't have to. We already spoke on Ryan. We already spoke on Alexi. We even spoke on Dom at quite a bit. What was the rating yesterday?
I'm going to be harsh on him because he didn't score. So I'll give him an 8.3.
Oh, wow. Okay. I was expecting that. Brian? 90. Okay. Let's see. Bonkers gave him 95. Trap Joe 95. Ian 88. Richard 95. 88 from a lot of high scores were from 88 from Bernie. 90 from Jimmy. A lot of high scores.
Big up, Jimmy.
Let's
It's got to start with a 9.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe 89, 80.
Nah, round it up.
Yeah. We'll do
It
the
was at
90.
Old
We'll do the
Trafford.
90.
It was at Old Trafford.
Yeah, very true. It was his Diana Ross moment there.
I've
So,
been
Yes.
very high in my marks for Ryan so far in the previous 2 games, but for this one, because it was Old Trafford and that United team, I can't go
yeah,
too high.
you can't go too wrong.
Fit well with me.
How about for just a score again? How about a score for Dominic? Just a score for Dominic. Brian,
87.
well, we'll start with Lee last time. We'll start with you, Brian. Go
Oh,
ahead.
I'll
oh,
give
87. 87.
7.7.
87.
Could do better.
Wait, hold on. So Brian, you're giving him 87. Lee, you're
87.
giving him
Give
what
him
now, Lee?
7, yeah. Could do
You give him
better.
a 77.
Okay. He gave him a 77. Okay.
Yeah.
It's quite a bit of a
Walking in, it would have come up above the 8 mark.
Jimmy gave him a 75, 86 from Bonkers, 80 from Richard, 85 from Dom, from Bernie, 85 from Trap Joe. I think your 77 and Jimmy's 75 are the only 70s. Most of them are 85 or above.
Yeah, it's less to do with our players with me. It's to do with the opposition. Like,
Oh, yeah. No, we get you here.
Yeah, he lost a point or two. That missed
like,
try from
it
Ian.
wasn't.
I knew that was going to be the case for a lot of people. They're going to
Maybe you go with an 80, low 80. I mean,
no, I would say 84 is a good score.
well,
84.
I went. Yeah, well, I suppose Lee went low enough. Did you only get Dom got?
There's
75.
a lot of 80s. There's a lot 86,
Okay.
80,
Okay.
85, 85, 84.
Eight's really good mark. There's too many 8s these days because in the paper years ago, that's how. Did you know they're on about the fellas in the paper, half of them, and when they give them marks, you didn't see that many 8s, mate. You know what I mean? 8s,
No,
you know,
no.
to get an 8.
We're it's United away.
Yeah.
We gotta have some fun. Yeah, we're not the keep over here. I mean, I tried that shit back in the day. It was like, look, a 7 for me is an outstanding performance,
Right.
you know. But you try to do that in chats now. You're like, people just come at you all night, so you just end up, oh fuck it, just give him a 9. Like I think it's a 7, just give him a 9 because I'm not going to spend 10 minutes going, whoa, what about this? What about that? Okay, whatever. But like Lee said back in the day, 7s and 8s. Wow, he must have had a brilliant game. Well, she's,
You'd see the odd 9, and it would have the star next to it, wouldn't it? 9.
Oh, if you got 9, you're a man of the match. You scored a hat trick, or you saved 2 penalties. Keepers never get that.
Well, let's go on to the much maligned Lucho. There's a couple of people out there always on his back about his end product, and out of nowhere yesterday, this guy gets a brace. 2 very, very good goals, 2 very well taken goals, each one. What was your rating for Lucho yesterday? We'll start with Brian. We'll start with you, Brian.
Yeah.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
Second time ever. Second time ever. He scored twice in a game. And he's now on 2 or 3. This is the thing I'm talking about, slot. I mean, you can see some obvious improvements here that I don't think are just down to. Like, the thing with the end product thing is, like, only idiots out there said he had no end product. It's just like, we'd like to see more. And this is now you're seeing more. Because, again, I'm going to keep bringing it back. I think there's a lot of coaching is involved here in terms of what we were doing last year. Probably wasn't getting the best out of some of these guys. And if you can give him this kind of rate over a season, that's end product. That's world-class end product. Now you're talking about a serious player. And it's no mistake that he's getting into these positions that he wasn't in before. No, we're not crossing the ball. I think we crossed the ball once yesterday. I think I remember seeing it. I think Robbo tried to cross it for Szoboszlai and he headed it. Diaz isn't crossing the ball. It's all on the floor. It's all neat and tidy. It's all really different. So Yeah, long may this continue. When you see it back, actually, it was really scary, that header that he went for. If that had gone
Mhm.
wrong,
Yeah. Oh
like
yeah.
when you look
Yeah.
at it
Or
now, it was like
if he
Jesus,
missed,
they
or
nearly crushed each other.
right,
Like
or
they came
if
really
Tom
close to
had
just,
really committed and done like maybe Matt
yeah, it
Phillips.
could have got ugly. It could
Yeah.
have got ugly because they both
Yeah.
went for that ball, and that was like when you see it in the first time, you didn't notice it, but then you see the replay, it's like, oh shit, that was really close to being a nasty collision almost. But he kept their nerve. He kept his nerve. Like the one for South, like yeah, I don't know.
So
What did I
Lucho.
give the other one?
Yeah.
90. I give him a 90,
90.
definitely.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Lee. Lucho.
Best game for us, potentially.
Yeah, if
Maybe.
any of our players were worthy of a high mark yesterday, like he's really worthy of a high mark, so I'll give him like an 8.4. Thing with Lucho is he's alive. Why he's always alive to opportunities. He's always there having a go. I didn't really understand where it was coming from with a lot of our fans saying he's not good enough for us. I mean, I just didn't see that. Like from the moment he arrived, he shows enough to me that he could be a Liverpool player. I don't know what more he's got. Yeah, he's
Oh,
got
he was
goals
on
and he's got
fire when he came in. The first few games he played, he was tearing the
type
place up.
forward he is. Hopefully, slots identified something. The coaching
Yeah.
was pretty abysmal towards the end of last year. We weren't using anybody properly. And I thought before he got that injury at Arsenal, like with Partey, he was really cooking and looking like he was going to be a great player for us. It was after that it slowed down a bit, like, didn't it? His appearances, whatever. And people were going, yeah, he's shit him, like, because he's not in the team and that, like, and he's only scored a few goals. But no, he's a good player as far as I'm concerned. Like,
What's your number?
What's your number? Yeah.
8.4. Give him an 8.4.
Oh,
84.
wow. Okay.
84.
Highest of high.
Okay.
High
Lee
more.
is definitely grading on the curve today, people. He is not great. He is not grading. He wasn't too happy, or not too happy. He wasn't too impressed by the
opposition.
The opposition, or maybe the sight of the old toilet has got him knocking down a couple decimal points here. I was not expecting 84, but Chop Joe gave him a 93, Bonkers gave him a 92, Richard gave him 92, Lucho 92 from Ian, 92 from Bernie, 89 from Philip. Any more? You gave him a 90, right, Bri?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Even with your 84, I'm gonna have to bump that up actually.
It was that whole thing. It was like evolving as a front three with the loss of Mane and Firmino. People were like, who's this new guy? He's not as good as Mane and Firmino. But it's like, there's just different. Like,
yeah,
now, so get used to
forever
it.
hearing that. Forever hearing that. Let's give him a 93. And I gave him a little extra point. I gave him a little extra, little bit of extra salsa on yesterday for the 2 goals. And next is our striker, who out of the front.
Update the haircut on the picture, by the way.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I will. I'll try to get the frost tips. Yeah.
I mean, I say I don't believe in coincidences. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Let's move on to his striker partner, or not partner, but his striker on the front line, Mr. Diego. A little bit of a quiet game for Diego yesterday. Yeah. All things spoken, when you look at the front three, he had, statistically, his score was probably the lowest out of anyone on the team, but he did work his butt off. Played 76 minutes yesterday. Only had 1 shot, and that shot was off target. What was your rating for Diego yesterday, Lee?
The best bit of the whole match was when he tried to meg that guy, like when he got played in, and he tried to meg that guy in the box, whoever it was, it's one of their players. That was the best bit from him yesterday. That's the whole thing with Diogo. Like, it's watching his route to goal, like in his imagined routes to goal. Like they don't always come off, like, but a lot of the time they do. So just sort of watching him for that reason. But I'd give him like a 7.1 because he was like a bit weirdly quiet yesterday. Although we won 3-0, he was a bit weirdly quiet. Like there was that bit where he tried to meg whoever it was, but that was about it from him on it yesterday.
Okay. Brian, what was your score for Diego?
Yeah, like everyone's saying, I think everyone said the same thing. Quiet. That's the word everybody's used, and I just think it's brilliant that somebody who was so good in the first 2 games, that we were all saying he's integral now, he can have a really quiet one, and we can go to Old Trafford and still dominate, and almost like him having an off day because we've got that quality. That to me is really encouraging, but it doesn't stop the fact that he had a really quiet day. So I would go 65.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
He scares defenders and he scares defenses.
Busy. Keeps everyone occupied. Keeps everyone on their toes.
Yeah. Keep everyone on their toes. Yeah.
Yeah. Not his day, though. Just not his day. But
Richard gave him 75. Bernie gave him 75. Ian to 78. I think we're going to have to give Mr. Diego a 75. Sounds like a decent score. Quiet, but still effective yesterday. What would you say about the King?
Where like he doesn't score, but we win easily, like, and he doesn't get injured at the same time and just stays in the team. Goes off now and then. That's enough for me.
What about the Egyptian King then? What was the Egyptian King's score? Brian, what was your score for the Egyptian King?
I gave Diaz 90, didn't I? Yeah, Mo was absolutely world class again. I'll give him a 90 as well. I'll keep them even. I'll give him a 90 as well.
Okay. Lee?
Mo, I'll give him 7.9. I'll give Mo.
Jeez. Lee, what is in that bottle? What is in that bottle? Dude, seriously. What's in the bottle? We need to see the label on that, man.
I think it says gold strappers on it. And it's got ETH. It's got ETH with the crest of his bald head on it, like that what I've been drinking.
GTV. I think Brian Lee thinks that all our players went to Old Trafford in our old toilet, and we have like they had like a piece of toilet paper stuck on our shoe when you're walking out or something. Took a piss, so you still walking out with a trailer on you or something like that.
Yeah.
Jeez, 70. I was not expecting to hear anything in the 70s from Mr. Mohamed Salah yesterday. You want to hear some stats? He has some exceptional stats. Obviously had the goal XG of 0.58, but had 2 assists yesterday. 2 assists. 0.63 was his expected assists. 53 touches. 26 out of 34, 3 key passes. A lot of the talk yesterday was all about his basically his answer to the journalist about whether he's going to stay or whether he should he's expects to go. But I had a good game yesterday. 90 from Nolante, 94 from Philip. Marion gave him 100. The King. All right. You don't see don't see 200s.
Well, Macy should have buried that second one where he cut inside. What was that? Really?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Okay. Norm, did you go to the game yesterday? By the way, I think he might have gone to the game.
Yeah, he was there. Of course, he was there.
Yeah.
It's Norm.
Yeah. 87 from Philip. Mo 10 goals against United. Bonkers thinks. Yeah, Mo was phenomenal yesterday. even with Lee's 90 or 79, I think he said, right?
Yeah, it was only Gravenberch that I went over 8 for, as far as I can remember.
I saw that.
He's
still gonna give him.
one
I'm still gonna
behind.
give him a 90 score. A 90 something score. I'll give him 91.
Yeah.
Give him
He's only one behind Alan Shearer. I'm not sure if it's 9 or 10, but he's only one behind Alan Shearer. Alan Shearer has the record for the most goals scored at an away, like at an away ground, like as an away player, and I think that's 10 at Elland Road. It's either 10 or 11. So Mo only needs one more goal at Old Trafford to take another one. We're talking the last while about all the little records that he has. Shearer still has the Premier League record for most goals scored at an away ground. Is basically his lucky ground is Elland Road. But basically, the idea that a Liverpool player can have a record like that and it be at Old Trafford is crazy.
It's crazy.
Like that's we shouldn't have 9 wins at Old Trafford in the last 10 years, let alone a guy that is looking at breaking the away goals scored record I mean, just think about that for a minute. Like if it was Portsmouth or some crappy team that's always like, even if it was Everton, but to be doing it at Old Trafford, that to me that's insane. That should be one of their biggest embarrassments.
Made more of this, like, so it wasn't up to people like us to say it on YouTube and like Sky Sports to say that more often, like about his record.
Yeah, I'm gonna do what we did last time. I see some of the scores still rolling in for Salah. 97 Trap Show gave him a 92 from Philip.
Coco. Sorry.
Philip gave him 87. I'm gonna do what we did last time as well. I'm gonna give you a play. I'm gonna give each of you a player, and then we'll grade him on that. I don't know if we want to give Simicast a grade. He came in at the 83rd minute. I mean, usually you gotta have at least probably 10 minutes at least of running time for you to get a grade. But I will give you Cody Hackbo, Brian. I'll give you the hard one to grade. Cody yesterday. He got in. He's the first to get in at the 66th minute. Cody and it's interesting because Cody was on fire in the Euros. It looks like he's kind of trying to get back into the groove or get that motor started with his appearances here. What was your grade for Cody Hackbo? Brian. Oh, Brian's on mute. Lee, how about we go with you first?
Cody. Yeah.
Well, this is his grade, by the way. You're getting to pick his grade. So, Cody, sorry. I'll just say that now. Go ahead.
He was busy-ish when he came on, so I give Cody as a sub. Give him like a 7.3 as a sub.
7.3.
Who are we ranking?
We're just doing individuals.
Did we rank?
So
did we do slot?
Yeah. We haven't gotten to slot yet.
There's people in charge and slot. Okay, cool. Who's my guy?
That was so let me make sure. You said what again for Cody? Lee?
What, mine again? Is 7.3.
Oh yes, please just say one more time.
Yeah. Give him 7.3 as a sub.
Wow. Okay.
Is that more than Salah got or something? I mean, it's just like
it's close. It's like very close to a Salah performance. Salah got a 79. He gave
Cody's coming with 73.
73.
Okay.
To up the general whatever that word is. The aggregate. I wanted to up the aggregate of my scores like at this late date.
You'll get Connor, Brian. What was your score for Connor?
Oh, he didn't have to do really anything, did he?
He
So
got in at
a
the 76th minute.
55,
76th minute.
a
50, what was it?
55, a
55?
55. Yeah, came in, didn't do anything wrong, so but didn't have any time. 55, yeah.
Okay. I feel bad. Because if you see 55, you would have thought that he had a horrible game. Wow.
Well, no, I mean, it's just that's like
I
said,
know.
you start,
Only
you start on
because,
the
only
you
because
start
I
on the
guess
five.
going by Lee's standards,
Well, yeah, I know.
that's a pretty good game. Connor put in a shift.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he did nothing wrong, but he didn't have time to do much right. So, if you want to be called it like more like nicey nice, just call it 60.
Yeah.
But basically, did nothing wrong.
Remember the subs, like, because it was quite dropped by that stage. Like, by the time it was all sewed up, like, and the subs come on.
Well, they did the 2, didn't they? I think they did a 2, and then they did a 3. I think, if I'm wrong, am I wrong with that? Did they do a 2 sub and then a 3 sub job, or
we did a 4 subs?
4 sub. We used 4. Okay.
What was? I'll let the chat do. Give Nunez a score. I'll let you guys. I'll let the chat, the Mighty Red Army out there, have Nunez a score.
Connor seems to be 60, 70, 66, 65, 71, 72.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that then? 65?
60, at least. I see 70s in there. 65. How we do? We do a little Beatles. We'll go 64. We'll 64, Connor.
I'm not going to fight about it.
Darwin, though. I'll let you guys do Darwin. Darwin's getting 55 from Bonkers. Darwin got a 60 from Richard. 73 from Trap Show. Jimmy gave him 65. Yeah. Big up, Jimmy. Big up, PK. 65. Good to see Darwin on the pitch. Yeah, it was good to see him on the pitch. Looking forward to Chiesa on the pitch, too.
Yeah, so am I. 65, 60.
65.
Call it a 60. Call it a 60.
Don't call it a comeback. How about that?
Not yet. Not yet.
But
yeah, next.
And again, Simcast only played
Magic
7. Yeah, it's like he ended up paying obviously extra time, but he got in at the 83rd minute. I don't know if it's necessarily cool to rate him.
No, anything less than 10 is stretching it.
What are we saying then? This
Mario,
is that time to show that everyone loves. Let's move on to our man of the match. Who was your man of the match? We'll go Brian, then we'll go Lee. Tell us in the chat. Man of the match for you yesterday. Hopefully it matches the graphic I already have, because I don't want to have to change it. But who was your man of the match, Brian?
Well, I'm going. Oh, right. If you don't, I'm going to guess. I'm going to say Diaz, and hopefully that's.
There's three strong candidates. I mean, Salah could have been man of the match. Gravenberch could have been man of the match. Obviously, Lucho could be man of the match. There were some shouts out there that that Ibu could have been man of the match. Some people were really praising Ibu yesterday.
Yeah. To me, I can't split two of them. So but if you were to tell me who I want to be man of the match, I want to give to Ryan Gravenberch.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't split because Mo was spectacular. Diaz was brilliant, and he was and I like that. We were like that under Klopp at the start. There was always at least 3 people that could have been man of the match, and I really like that. That's a really good sign. So yeah, okay. Who do I really think it was? Mo Salah.
Okay. Lee?
I'll go for Allison, because when he made one
of course
save,
he
That's definitely the thumbnail. That's definitely the thumbnail.
Well, we could have lost 4-3. If that would have went in, we could have lost 4-3. This is no absurd notion or patently bizarre observation about yesterday's match. I think that we could have lost 4-3 if that would have went in, mate. So I'm giving it to Allison for stopping it. Like,
Okay.
Not for contrarianism at all.
no. I mean that. Like, I think we were going to beat 4-3 if that went in.
If what went in, by the way?
Was it a header? There was one where Allison jumped to his side a bit and saved it.
Was that the Xerxes one?
Yeah. And then Xerxes put one wide as well. That's the one I want to. If that went in, we could have lost 4-3.
It was game over. It was game over. Yeah.
So
if that had gone in, the floodgates would have opened. No doubt about it.
If that went in, like, it would have just been a deluge of United goals after that.
Like Newcastle all over again, but in reverse.
Let's see if I can get this for you guys then. Saw a lot of so we got a shout for Ali. Nowhere.
Yeah.
But a shout for Ali, which I guess Lee is writing in Quasi's vote most likely for man of the match. We got Diaz and Mo from Marion. Bonkers gave him to Gravenberch. Jimmy gave to Gravenberch. Bernie gave to Salah. JK gave to Salah. Lante gave to Grava. Let's see. Trapcho gave it to King Mo. Okay.
I think that just pushes Mo over the edge a little bit in terms of votes, maybe.
Oh, I don't know. Wait, let me double check.
Right.
There was a lot of Gravenberches, but there are some Salas.
There's a lot of Mo in that.
So, one from Gravenberch from Nolante. Salah got one from JK. Bernie got one from Salah. Got one for Salah. Jimmy gave one for Gravenberch. Bonker gave one for Gravenberch. Richard gave one for Gravenberch.
4-3.
I have 4.
I'm at 4-3 to Gravenberch there.
Who's your? Are you counting your own vote?
No, just from the ones you read out. I have it at 4-3 to Gravenberch.
I have 4-2. Wait, let me double check here. Gravenberch from Nolante. Salah got JK. Or JK gave Salah. Bernie gave Salah. But then Jimmy gave Gravenberch. Bonkers gave Gravenberch. Because you're counting Marion gave one to Diaz. A half vote to Diaz. Half vote to Mo. Richard gave it to Gravenberch.
No, I wasn't counting that. It was just the first time you read it out. It was 4-3 to Gravenberch.
Okay. Maybe I was just saying what your vote was out loud too. Gravenberch from Philip. I think Gravenberch has it actually out of all the votes. So, guys, making me change up my graphics. All right. Give me 1 second.
I know. I gotta get a recount on this one. Gotta get a recount here.
I don't think Salah had enough votes. So.
Oh God, they're already doing the Zubamendi back on. Don't even, Jesus. Zubamendi back in for. They're already going with it. As soon as the window is closed, they go straight to transfer window shit.
Who's this now?
You know.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
Zubamendi to Liverpool, back on.
Okay. All right, let me bring this down for 1 second. So I gotta change this graphic up. Get this up here. I know the suspense. Because I'll be honest with you, I did want this individual to be the man of the match. I thought we were just talking about 2 spectacular goals from that guy. Are you not entertained? We are the people's
Yeah, it's
voice.
4-4. It's 4-4 in the chat.
4-4.
Yeah.
I don't.
Excluding mine and excluding Marion, it's 4-4 in the chat.
Nobody else voted for Alison?
No, because it starts with Nolante at Grav. Then it goes Grav, Salah, that's 1-1. Then Salah, Grav, that's 2-2. Then Grav, that's 3-2 to Gravenberch. Now, then I'm ignoring Marion. Then Mo, right, that's 3-3. Then Grav, that's 4-3 to Gravenberch. Then one from Mo, which makes it 4-4. And then there's no more shouts for man of the match.
Where do you see? I don't see the other. I don't see this other Salah that you're talking about.
Man of the match is the Egyptian King Mo, is the last one by Trap
Oh,
Joe.
from Trap Joe. From Trap Joe.
Man of the match is the Egyptian King Mo. That's the last one. That makes it 4-4. Now I went for Mo. That made it 5-4 to Mo. Who did you go for?
I wouldn't have gone for Salah as being the man of the match.
But who did you go for? Yeah, so it's at.
I voted. I already showed you. My votes for Lucho.
Diaz.
Yeah.
So okay, so that leaves it at 5-4. Lee went for Ali. That's still 5-4. So
it was being serious to go for Gravenberch because I liked it. I liked the
then it evens it up. Then if you were being serious, so that evens it up. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna put. We can make it a three amigos. How about that? She just make it the three amigos.
Exactly. Like let's have more of that. Like I said, that's when we were at our best under Klopp. When people say who was man of the match, people say man of the match. You could have picked 5 of them. Could be 5 of them man of the match. Robbo, right. Trent, Virgil, Mo, Mane. That's when we were at our best. There was 3 guys that were 9 out of 10. That's what I want to see more of. You don't need to see, there was one guy on our team that was way better than everybody.
Mm-hmm.
No, let's have 4 guys that are just knocking it out of the park. And who cares? Toss a coin and call one of them man of the match. That's gonna win you a lot more games.
Yep, definitely. Let's see it. All right, so in that case, I'm gonna have to make another. Guys are killing at this. Make another thing. Yeah, give me a second. I don't have an issue. I think that they all had met. There were, like you said, some phenomenal play yesterday. Absolutely phenomenal play. And all of these individuals certainly had a shout.
Can we all just be real for a second?
Oh,
the real man of the match was Casemiro.
Yeah,
we all know that.
Exactly.
We all know he was the star turn yesterday. He was, yeah. Everyone walked away from the stadium talking about Casemiro. Yeah. For good or bad, mate. For good or bad.
Yeah. So for yesterday, I know that I do have Diaz as my man of the match. I know there was also shouts for Gravenberch to be the man of the match. There was also shouts for Mo Salah to be man of the match. Last but not least, what are you going to rate Slot yesterday? Let's get a rating for Slot. This is something that we didn't do this, I don't think, last week, actually.
No.
We didn't get a Slot rating in. What do you want to rate our gaffer now? So different thinking of the different man in this role. But yesterday, what would you have given? Let's rip the Band-Aid off. So let's go with Lee's. Let's go with Lee's evaluating rating for Mr. Slot. What was Arnie Slot's rating for you yesterday?
Buckle up.
Well, he was definitely manager of the match. I'll give him a 8.8 because that's nice and round. 2 big plump things. 8.8 is his thing. But
8.8.
yesterday, yeah, he was great yesterday. Slot. He was man of the match.
Okay. Brian, what was your rating for Mr. Slot?
Yeah, I think it's easier to do away with the whole, not giving someone 10 out of 10 thing when it comes to a manager, because there's only so much you can do. He can't do extra, if you know what I mean. He can't score a worthy kind of thing to get you over the line. And I can't see anything he did wrong. He did absolutely everything right. He looked totally in control. So I would go, I'd probably give him a 10 out of 10. Everything he did worked. Everything he did was proactive and, was positive. There was nothing to walk away from thinking, oh, if he done this or that, oh, but also this happened. No kind of stain on it. Was perfect. So you got to give him a 10. I think nothing else he could have done.
Yeah. Give some extra points. Let's see what the chat is saying. Slot got a 10 from Jimmy, 100 out of 100 or 100 from Jimmy, 100 from Bernie, 90 from Bonkers, 92 from Richard.
Yeah, it's a 10 out of 10 for me. I don't like, if you're going to give a 97, why not give him 100? What's he losing out on the 3 for? Just round it up. I mean, what more could he do, really?
If ever there was a time to fail or a platform to fail on, it would have been at your rival's door. And he absolutely stepped up and made the right decisions and has his team prepared.
It's also one in the eye for a couple of really smarmy people out there that were making jokes about how supposedly Ten Hag was the best Dutch manager, and we've hired this guy who was like the second best Dutch manager. So how good can this guy be if Ten Hag is that bad? Which was kind of, some very overly reductive stuff by some people who should know much better. And I think that thing has now been flipped on its head now, that argument. I mean, did you see Ten Hag at the end of the game standing there looking like an air steward for Virgin Airways? I mean, he looked in his perfect suit and his red tie and his, like, they were all sitting there in the same club suits. He was wearing the same club suit, and Jim Radcliffe was sitting there behind them all, right, with his straggly hair and his kind of, his hippie type suit on, his no tie and a shirt, and they looked like a row of undertakers in front of him. Only they were wearing red ties. And Ten Hag was out there at the end. He looked like the chief undertaker, just waiting for the coffin to arrive, staring off into the distance with that 1,000-yard Vietnam stare, man. Honestly, that guy is done. He is done. It's hilarious.
Haunted man, didn't he?
He haunted is exactly the word for him. He's just looking out on the pitch, just staring off into the distance in his club suit.
Wow.
Absolutely hilarious, man. And he just and Slot is there, with his his polo shirt and his pants. He looking all cool and relaxed. Oh, he's like something from a Terrence Malick film. There's fucking the poor Ten Hag going Ajax. It was only 4 years ago.
Slot is Dutch and looks a little bit like must have made it even worse, mate.
The Bruce Willis shout's like a shout. A little bit of Bruce Willis there and Die Hard. See it? Yippee-ki-yay, mother. Anyway.
I was feeling this would happen. Like, as soon as we got Slot, I thought, all right, the old Trafford game, 3 games in, mate. It's going to be good.
I liked it. I thought it was a good time to go there. Like I said, before they get their feet under the table, even if I don't think they will now, but I think there's nothing like going to a club you don't like and sacking their manager for them. I mean, that really feels good, and it felt like we kind of sacked their manager yesterday. But on the flip side, we also kind of semi-retired one of the most decorated players in world football. And not only did we semi-retire him, we got it at the point where he was taken off at halftime and replaced by an extra from Coronation Street. I mean, that's literally what they did. A guy that nobody even knew existed 5 minutes before he was brought onto the pitch.
Do you
That's what
remember
we did
how
to that
much?
club yesterday.
Do you remember how much the Man United fans crowed last season because they got 0-0 at Anfield? I'd be perfectly happy for them to get another 0-0 this season, as long as it doesn't do any long-term harm or deprive us of a Champions League place. I'd be perfectly happy for them to get another 0-0 this season and go away rubbing their hands, like, because we've already had this, mate. And it doesn't matter what you do at Anfield. This was really, really.
This is a 3-0 at Old Trafford is worth probably 5 at Anfield, 5 or 6.
Yeah, it was the whole thing because they said you finished because Klopp's gone. Because, all right, we spanked him a few times, like, specifically the 5-0. But they were saying, oh, you're all finished and that, like, and okay, then look at this.
Yeah.
If we're finished, did you ever begin?
Yeah.
It was just an instant dose of reality in 90 minutes. I think we put them back a year yesterday. I think we did. I think we put them back a full year.
Dish best cold served, they say, right?
Yeah. They are not anywhere near where they thought they were, and we've just exposed the fact that they are way behind where they need to be. Like I was saying to you earlier on, they're saying year 1 of Ineos, not year 3 of Ten Hag. Yeah, grow the fuck up, lads. This is your reality right now. This is a brand new manager with somebody else's football club, none of his own new players, that has just turned up and taught your manager, who's had 3 years and £500 million, how to play football.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing for them. Embarrassing. And Carragher got really dark on Casemiro. He came out and said, you need to leave football before the football leaves you.
Leaves you, yeah.
And the football has left him. It's like, wow. Like, he's just saying you should stop playing football tomorrow. Like, just stop playing the game.
Yeah.
Not even go to Saudi. Like, it's okay. It's like, that's
it's okay. It's okay to hand the boots up.
Yeah, it's like, walk away. You know, fuck me, man. That's like what you can see the glee in what he was saying. He was trying, like,
yeah, I mean, like Carrick can still get a few good sound bites in, like not as many as he used to. But he is from round here. He's actually from this area of Liverpool, Carroll. Like,
well,
he deserved it. He had to listen to Gary Neville and his bullshit for long enough.
Well, this is going to bring us to the end of our ratings show, but this is also the beginning of the international break. And hopefully the beginning of a brilliant story here for us as Reds. I think that it could very well could be. And I'm hoping that continues. Is there anything you want to say to the people before we allow for them to enjoy their Monday, enjoy the sweet silence of the internet, and as the Red Devils have all creeped back into their little corners, you know, it's like the girl from Ring. It just like slowly like goes backwards. Is there anything you want to say, Lee?
Go out there and speak a few live Man United streams and take the piss like a good one.
Brian? yeah, that Brian, maybe bring
that's good advice.
Hopefully get in on a rating show and have the same energy that Lee had today with his ratings. Throw a couple of anchors in there.
You've got to end live streams by saying how much you appreciate Man United as a big club and have won loads of stuff, and then unload a load of stuff like slowly and slyly on them, like your back catalogue of United abuse.
Brian, what do you have to say to the people?
Yeah, just what Lee is saying. You know, go out and enjoy it. You know, we're off the back of a 3-0 win. If there's any way that you can take some more juice out of this or some more fun out of it, then definitely go and get it. If there's an Old Trafford or if there's a United fan you haven't texted or you haven't said something to,
I'll trust that is well taken, because this whole conversation, Because you guys remember there was that Red Devil I had to deal with that was, we'll see once you come to Old Trafford.
Been there, done that. Been there, done that. Got the T-shirt.
I already got the meme ready, and I got the number loaded on the WhatsApp. Yeah. Oh, it's about to be a fun ride here.
No, just anybody that's in the show, like the stream before you leave. If you haven't liked the stream, make sure you like. And it's going to be the international break, so if there's anything like show wise that you wanted to do, like make sure
now is the time.
Yeah, just drop in, talk about this or talk about that, or a show about this, show about that. Because we got time to fill now for a while.
Yep.
But yeah, just the usual. Thanks for being here, and see you all again tomorrow, hopefully.
Yep.
Can we be a bit worried that when we come back after the break we won't be on it? Is that
no, none of that talk. Shut that down. Shut it down, Lee. None of that talk. Not even talking about it. That's a different dimension. That's not this dimension.
A nightmare to leave you all with.
Yeah. But
we already got the girl from Ring crawling back into the TV.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we can leave that all there. But as always, I wish you guys all out there, guys and ladies, I wish you all the best on your Monday. It was always a pleasure to embark on the rating show with you, and it's always a pleasure to see you in general, because anytime you can say 3 points, you can say 3 wins, 3 clean sheets. 3 is the magic number for the Reds right now, and it's good to be here. It's good to be here. So, as always, up the Reds, people, up the Reds, and until next time, peace.